And we're back to some more Hartford Whalers franchise mode in FHM 8s. And in this one, we have the start of year number 5. But first, I do want to address the situation with Yari Curry. For whatever reason, the game's not allowing me to sign him. As if I go to offer contract, it wants me to match an offer for whatever reason, even though we have his rights, because if I just click match offer, literally nothing happens. I mean, I could simulate a week, I could simulate however long it takes to match an offer sheet, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. So I believe there's some sort of glitch at work here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Curry a contract manually. I didn't want to have to do this, but it doesn't seem like I really have any other option. And we're still at the point where you can sign your unsigned free agents, but for whatever reason, the game's just treating it very weirdly. So I'll just give him a 1-year contract for $150,000 with your Hartford Whalers, and then we'll renegotiate his contract when the time comes. So there you go. Yari Curry, officially a member of the Hartford Whalers. Did take a little bit of, commissioner mode editing, but we did trade for his rights legitimately. We gave Detroit a pretty good package, I think, in, Staunton, Hagman, Freiser, a second and a third. That's 3 really good players there. I mean, Freiser is only 1.5 star talent, but he did have a good year last year for being his rookie season. 38 points in 58 games played, 67 grade. He was pretty good, especially for only being a 1.5 star talent. And then Hagman with the 3-star talent, consistent 50, 60 point guy. And then obviously Staunton with 72 points last season. And then the previous 2 seasons before that, over 100. So I think they got a pretty good deal. Now, would they have preferred to keep Curry? I myself would have preferred to keep Curry if I were the Detroit Red Wings, but the thing is, they didn't have him signed by the time his contract expired, and if it were me, I would want to make sure that I would have a player like that locked up long-term long before that even happens. So you can't blame me for going after a player that was unsigned at the time, but nonetheless, I am very happy with that trade. So Yari Curry, hopefully you have a great career here in Hartford. We now have 3 4.5 star players. I mean, we're closer for sure to being able to compete with a team like Montreal just like that. So we may not even have to go full-blown rebuild here, depending on what happens this season. And it's not like we could have anyway, with the lack of depth in the draft being what it was, right? But I'm certainly feeling a lot better about this upcoming season. Now with 2 elite defensemen in Coffey and Howe, and then you got the elite winger in Curry, Rogers. I mean, sure, it'd be nice to have Staunton right now, or a little bit more depth, but you know what? Curry's only 23. Staunton was already 30. So that was the main point in that trade, was getting younger at forward. And that's exactly what we did. So I feel a lot better about the future of this team right now. So I think with that being said, we will advance to the start of the preseason. And I think one other thing I want to do before we really get started here is trade Davidson. And just honestly, just get whatever for him, because it seems like most teams don't really want him in the first place. When I add him to a trade, there's really nothing that we're getting from these teams. I mean, most of these offers are not looking great. I'll just take some depth at forward. Peter Sullivan looks okay. Decent offensive category, decent mental ratings. Not good defensively, but he could be a solid injury replacement player, I suppose. And that's literally the best trade on the board, so complete trade. So that means Garrett and Vernon are now our goaltenders. Yeah, he's good. Yari Curry with 10 points in 7 games in the preseason. Now let's check out goaltenders. Garrett with 870, Vernon with a 904. Okay, not bad. Not a bad start. Let's see if he can carry that over to the regular season, though. That's the real question for goaltenders of the Hartford Whalers, seemingly. So if Vernon can carry that over into the regular season, I would feel much better about our future, especially with Yari Curry now on board. All right, first game of the season against Chicago, we have a 4-2 win. Very nice. It's 3 stars of the game: Curry, Wilson, and Rogers. So Curry, in his first game with your Hartford Whalers, gets his first 2 goals of the season. And Vernon actually played in that game. He had a 900 save percentage, it seems. 900 save percentage in his first game. Ooh, look at that. Dave Andrechuk, player of the month for skaters in the NHL. 13 points in 11 games played. We're now on November 1st. Yari Curry leads our team with 17 points. I wonder why he didn't get player of the month instead of Andrechuk. I don't know entirely how that award is weighed. It might be something else I'm not factoring in here, but if it's just based off points, then that's a bit strange. Goaltending, Garrett at 897, so staying consistent with where he was last season. That's in 4 games. Vernon with 8 games played and an 873. So, I mean, it's understandable. It's his first go in the NHL. Really hope he can improve there, though. I mean, all that mattered to me was just getting Davidson out of here because I was tired of his performances. So even if Vernon has similar performances, it's at least understandable in his case because, he's a rookie. Davidson wasn't. Ooh, Gary Nyland out for 2-3 months with torn triceps. All right, so we're on December 1st of 1983. We are 16-7-1. So overall, we're doing pretty well here. Curry with 31 points in 24 games played leads our team. Andreychuk with 26. Rogers with 23. Peter Stastny with 22. 20 for Nichols. So everyone's pitching in here. Paul Coffey with 20. Anton Stastny with 19. Pettersson with 16. We're getting a lot of scoring. A lot more than I expected anyway. Marion Stastny with 11. Poulin with 11 as well. Roberts with 10. Casillo with 9. 8 for Levo, Neufeld, and Howe. So Mark Howe having a bit of a slow start there. Looks like he's been injured though as well for a bit. Samuelson with 6. 5 for Larmer and Rochefort. 4 for Beers, Sullivan, and Renault, who is a backup defenseman. And now in goal, Vernon in 15 games played with an 875, and Garrett in 11 games played with a 907. Wow. Garrett, my man, he's really improved over the past 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if he's top of the league right now for goaltenders. So with a minimum of 10 games played, the highest save percentage is a 913 with Greg Millen. Then it's Steve Weeks, John Garrett. John Garrett's the third best goalie in the league right now. That's pretty insane. That is pretty insane. And of course, Davidson all of a sudden decides to turn it on in Winnipeg. I guess good for him, but that's a bit annoying. But all right, whatever. Like, he had a 903 in New York the year before coming to us. Then we trade for him. He has an 885, 869, 874. And then all of a sudden now he goes to Winnipeg and has a 904. Oh, man. Maybe it was something about our system. I don't know. But in that case, then why would Garrett be doing well with this? That's a strange one. Maybe he just didn't want to be here. I don't know. It's I don't really have an explanation for that, but good for him nonetheless. Check out the team stats. Goals for, we are 8th in the league with 4 flats, and goals against per game we're 6th with a 2.96. That is more like it. We are not only now scoring goals, but we're keeping the puck out of the net more often than not. Good to see. We're getting some good improvement here. Faceoffs, we're 9th in the league with a 51.2. Power play, we are 6th in the league with a 25.4. And penalty kill, okay, that needs to improve for sure. 70.5. Don't know what that's about, especially when we're so high up there with the goals against per game, being 6th in the league. So if our penalty kill can improve, then our goals against per game will get even lower. So I guess it's just one of those things that'll correct itself as the year goes on. Because for the most part, besides the penalty kill, we're doing phenomenal. Definitely beyond my expectations for this season. My initial expectations, at least. But now that we have Jari Kurri on our team and a completely revitalized John Garrett, we're looking much better. So hopefully both of them can keep it up. And hopefully we keep up our depth scoring. And if we can do that, then we should be set here. And honestly, I'm quite impressed that it seems we're able to at least keep pace with Montreal in terms of record right now. Because they're 17-4-2. We're not far behind them, but 16-7-1. So we may actually be able to, if we have to go up against them in the playoffs, at least at the moment, I feel pretty confident that we could actually give them a run for their money at the very least. So I think with that, we will advance. We could probably go to the trade deadline at least today. If not, just the rest of the season, just depending on how things go. So I think we will advance minimum to the trade deadline. All right, January 1st here. This team is impressing me. This team is really impressing me. We are 25-9-2. We're actually keeping pace with Montreal on a regular basis. They're at 26-8-3. We're 25-9-2. We're right there, basically. Let me check on goalie stats once again. 904 for Garrett. He's stayed pretty consistent over 19 games played so far. Vernon with 20 games played and 872. So it seems like he's still struggling a bit in his rookie season, but hopefully this struggle will help him get better for the future. Because he has that 2-star ability now. So it's not like he's not NHL level talent at this point, because he is. Our offense seems to be going. Curry with 43 points, 39 for Andreychuk. So Andreychuk's really improved. He's gone up to a 3.5-star potential. I believe before he was only a 3-star. Bernie Nichols as well. I think he also went up to a 3.5-star because before I seem to remember that he was a 3-star. Because last year he had 42 points. This year so far, in 36 games, he has 30 points. This is our team is looking much better. So really, I cannot complain here. Just check the team stats real quick, just for an update. 4.19 goals for per game, 4th in the league. Goals against per game, 5th with the 3.06. So that's actually worse than before, even though we're a higher ranking. But still, it seems for the most part, we are a pretty good team here. 25.7 power play. Penalty kill is up to a 75%, so that's much better than before. I believe it was at 70.2 or something like that. It was around there, so almost a 5% increase in that time. Not bad at all. I mean, obviously we're still 17th in the league for the penalty kill, but it's improving. That's the point. So like I said, I think we could just go up to the trade deadline here at minimum. And Nyland is back on the roster, so now I can send Renault down. All right, just a quick update. I'm not going to do a full team update here this time, but let it be known, on February 1st, we are ahead of the Montreal Canadiens in the standings. That's incredible. Okay, we're officially a good team, I think. I feel pretty confident going into these playoffs. Oh no. Rogers with a fractured ankle indefinitely. He's gone for the playoffs for sure. Yep, shelved for 4 months. That's to mid-June. That's literally the entire playoffs. Our number one center has gone down now. Stastny could take his place as the first line center, but that does decrease our depth quite a bit. So Rogers, onto the injury list you go. Oh man. And it seems I'm actually going to need to call up a forward here. All right, so we're a few days before the trade deadline, March 1st here, and we're still first in the division, 45, 15, and 4, 94 points. We're first in the league. There's not much to be done. For the first time for this team, there is not much to be done. I think we could just go straight in the playoffs and see how it plays out. Obviously, we had a huge blow with that injury to Rogers, but even in the games that we've been without Rogers so far, I believe they have all been wins or ties. So while I'm not feeling 100% confident without Rogers in there, I still feel like we could pull this off, especially given that, you know, we're so far ahead of where I thought we would be. So I think with that being said, we will simulate up to the end of the regular season. Hey, there you go. Mike Vernon, goalie of the month for March. Not bad, kid. He's up to an 887 now in 46 games played. So he's definitely improved as the season has gone on. And we finished the season on a very high note, beating Montreal 6-2 in the final game of the season. And we have finished, wait for it, 57, 18, and 5. Wow. That is not something I was expecting. And the only notable change that we made was the trade for Curry, and then, of course, the first-round pick from Calgary. Wow. I mean, I'm stunned. I did not think we would jump from considering a rebuild to acquiring Yari Curry to all of a sudden being a contender. I genuinely thought this team was going to be in a rebuild this year, but nope, all of a sudden we acquire Yari Curry and then things just completely turn around. Incredible. I would really like to know what's going on with Yari Curry's contract here, because it says under renewed 1984 and 85. It has him for $0, but I never renewed him. Something must have happened with Yari Curry in the system, because got some really weird bugs going on right now, it looks like. And it says he has an extension, so he's technically under our control for next year. I guess we'll see what happens on July 1st with his contract. Because if it doesn't say $150,000, if it actually says 0, but he's still signed, then I'm definitely gonna have to go in there and fix that when the time comes. Anyway, let's check out our final season stats for all of our players. Yari Curry with 112 points in 80 games played. And 38 goals as well. Andrechuk with 98 points, so that is far better than I expected out of him. And he got his potential up to 4-star now. Things are looking up for sure. Peter Stastny with 4-star talent, 4-star potential, 94 points on the season. Nichols with 78 points in 79 games played, so basically a point per game. 70 points for Paul Coffey, not as good as he was last season, but that's fine. 292 penalty minutes, holy moly. Anton Stastny with 63 points, Mark Howe with 60, Kissio with 47, 44 for Pettersson, 40 for Poulin, 36 for Marion Stastny, 33 for Roberts, 31 for Rochefort, 29 for Livo, 24 for Sullivan, 21 for Samuelson, 20 for Neufeld, 18 for Beers, 14 for Larmer, and 10 for Nyland, and then 2 for Thoresen in 6 games played. And now in goal, you have Garrett with an 890 save percentage, so he did go down a little bit, actually quite a bit from when we last checked. I believe it was a 905 last we checked, now is at 890. And then Vernon with an 888, so he improved steadily as the season went on. Good to see out of him. Hopefully he can continue to improve as he goes on his career. He's only 21 right now, so he's still got some time to get those ratings up there, but it's a good start to his career nonetheless. Now let's see leaders of the league. Goals, Dino Ciccarelli with 86. Wow, surpassing even Gretzky, who had 70. Gretzky with 94 assists leads the league and 164 points as well. Peter Stastny with the most plus minus with 64, and actually we lead the league 4 times in plus minus. So Stastny, Curry, Roberts, and Rochefort all in a row are the top 4 in the league in that category. Clark, as usual, up there with the faceoff percentage, and Jari Kurri with 5 shorthanded goals. So making an impact not only on the power play, but on the penalty kill as well. Goaltender leaders, you have Peters with the most wins in the NHL with 42. Goals against average, Melanson led the league with a 2.65. A save percentage, Lemelin led the league with a 902 save percentage. He's on the North Stars. Peters with 8 shutouts. And now let's check out the team stats. Your Hartford Whalers lead the league in goal scoring with a 4.47. My goodness, that is quite the difference just from having Jari Kurri on our team. And then a goals against average of a 2.95, 4th in the league. This is what I like to see. Good job, boys. Good job all around this year. Faceoffs even improved. 51.2, 6th in the league. Power play percentage, 2nd in the league with 26.7. And penalty kill improved slightly, 76.7. That's still by far our weakest spot. But hey, given our record, I'm not going to complain. So, I mean, this is definitely much more than I expected out of this team, for sure. I mean, you heard me in the last one. I was saying rebuild, you know? But I took the opportunity to trade for Jari Kurri, who went unsigned by the Detroit Red Wings, and all of a sudden, things just completely take a 180 turn for us, and we shoot right past Montreal in the standings, and here we are. Best goal differential in the league, too, plus 122. So now we'll find out our opponent in the playoffs. I believe it will be LA, if we're going based off the old format. And yes, indeed it is. It is still a best of 5 series is the first round. But with that being said, I think we're ending things off here. And in the next one, we will get underway with the year, what is this, 5? Yeah, year 5. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. The year 5 playoffs, starting against the LA Kings, who are only 21, 54, and 5. So we should win this. We really should. I hope we do. For my sanity, please win this.